Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to episode 22 of my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. Today, I want to talk to you about being distracted. I know a lot of people pride themselves on multitasking, getting many things done at one time, but what many people don't realize is that when we are distracted, we are not focused on the one thing that we're doing, and often not giving the situation or the person in front of us our best selves, and we don't get the best result. And we're also missing out on the most meaningful and precious part of our lives, and that is pure presence, pure focus on the moment that we are in. This actually reminds me of a story years ago when I went into a shop to get my eyebrows waxed. And I remember when I walked into the room, the woman who was supposed to wax my eyebrows was on her cell phone. For one moment, she put the person on hold and asked me what I was looking to have done. I told her what I wanted my eyebrows to look like, and then she proceeded to get back on the phone. I remembered when I lied down on the table, she was just talking to her friend more and more and more. And she seemed like she was taking more and more and more of my eyebrow off. And there was no more communication between us. She was obviously distracted speaking to her friend, because when I got up from the table and looked in the mirror, half my eyebrow was gone. I laugh at the incident now because it's funny that I walked out with half my eyebrows, but at the time I was really upset that she didn't give me her time or her presence. I went there, I paid for her services, I was respectful to her, yet she didn't give me the same respect because she was distracted. And I don't think she did it on purpose. I truly believe she thought she could do two things at once. But what happens when we do two things at once is that we're not totally present. We don't give our best selves to the moment we are in. And it affects so many different aspects of our lives and we're not even aware of it. And there always comes a time, if we do it long enough, that life makes us aware of it. We end up not doing a great job at work, or someone gets mad at us because we didn't give them all of our attention. And sometimes we even hurt ourselves. Even just the other day, I was on the phone with a client of mine, and I was sitting on the floor. At the same time, I received a text from my daughter. She wanted me to look for a book in her room. I asked my client if I could put her on hold, but I was still thinking about my conversation with my client, and at the same time, I was thinking about my daughter's book in the other room, and I never bothered to recognize the fact that both of my feet fell asleep. I tried to stand up, being distracted. I stood up without presence, and I fell down very quickly because both my feet were completely asleep. I've been to the chiropractor twice in the past week, and I'm okay, but the pain in my shoulder reminds me that all the moment was asking for was my presence. And that's all I had to do. I could have paused. I could have focused on standing up instead of being distracted with my client and my daughter. I could have taken one thing at a time, and everything would have gotten done. And I probably would have been more efficient and my shoulder wouldn't hurt today. I think one of the reasons we all get so distracted is there's this rush mentality that we all have, that things have to get done yesterday, that there's not enough time to do everything that we love in life. But in reality, distractions cause us to accomplish less. We can end up harming ourselves, and we don't get to fully enjoy the moment. And we also miss out on the depth of our relationships. Even on the street the other day, there was this woman walking towards me, and she was wearing such a beautiful jacket, I smiled at her. And she didn't smile back. And I said to her, "That's such a beautiful jacket," and she walked right by me. And she didn't walk right by me because she was rude. She walked right by me because she was wearing earphones and probably listening to music. I know some people like listening to music while they walk around a city or they work out. But what they don't realize is that it often takes all of us away from our surroundings. It's not always safe. But most of all, this woman missed a beautiful compliment. She missed the sound of the city, the sound of the birds. We are all so sure that when we're walking from one point to another, we can listen to music or listen to a podcast because the journey of getting there has nothing to do with what we want to accomplish that day. But everything matters. When we leave our building or our homes, there are people to meet. When we walk on the street, there are people to smile at. There are things to look at. There's nature to hear and experience. We have to give our senses more space or time or more credit that it can engage us in our natural surroundings. Every moment is so worthwhile. Even when you go into an elevator, there's something so beautiful about greeting somebody, speaking to somebody new, just smiling. There's so many beautiful things that are happening in the moment. but when we're too distracted, we miss out on life. We create these distractions as routines, like always listening to music when you walk to work, always listening to a podcast when you're on a subway, always going on the internet if you eat lunch alone or you're waiting for someone. We create these habits to distract ourselves, but it's not very expansive. Because when we're truly present in the moment where we are, when we're present to what we're actually doing, there's an expansive nature to life. There's so much more happening, so many more possibilities, so many opportunities, so many new people to meet. We are awake to life as it is happening, instead of trying to routinely distract ourselves as we're going from point A to point B. So this might be something you want to think about. Am I distracted? Am I doing 2 things at once? Am I doing 5 things at once? And this distraction also applies to our work. What makes us think we could be so distracted and create our greatest project at work, or close a deal, or attract a client? We don't realize it that our energy becomes scattered when we're distracted. Our energy is not focused enough to really create what we want to accomplish at work, what we want to accomplish at home, what we want to give the people that we love. It's so funny, we think we're doing more when we're doing so many things at once. But the truth is, every part of our lives gets less. It receives less energy, and we are more likely not to have accomplished our goals and to disappoint many people in our lives. So let's try this exercise to see if we could be less distracted and maybe experience more in the moment, more what's going on in our lives. Ask yourself, what distracts me? How many things do I do at one time? If you can, list them on a piece of paper. Am I talking on the phone while I'm writing a memo? Am I trying to create a new idea at work or complete a project while at the same time I'm ordering something on Amazon or thinking about what I'm going to do later in the day? Am I thinking about lunch when someone's talking to me? Think about all the times that your mind is someplace else and then look at your life. Are you satisfied with what you have accomplished? Do you find your relationships are meaningful? When you walk to work, do you remember what you pass by? Have you ever spoken to someone you don't know in an elevator or in a cafe? Ask yourself how all these moments move by, where your attention is. Try to make a commitment to focus on the moment that you're in. Focus on the project you're working on. Focus on the person that you're talking to. Try to give each moment all of your attention. Give it all your energy. And I guarantee that your life will start to blossom because all of you will be present. So all of you will be present to create new projects at work, to create new dreams, new businesses, new relationships. Part of the reason that we get stuck or dissatisfied with our lives is that we believe that there's something in the future that will make us happy. There is something that hasn't happened yet that will truly satisfy us. What we don't realize is that the present is here for us to find that satisfaction. The present is here for us to make new creations. The present is here for us to make our relationships fulfilling and meaningful. And it's only our distractions, our scatteredness, our belief that there's not enough time, our belief that there's something better out there that takes us from the true meaning of our lives, which can only be experienced with all of your attention in this moment. I hope you enjoyed this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my book, The Gift of Maybe, you can purchase it at all major bookstores and online retailers. If you could just open your heart to this moment, you will see miracles unfolding, and you will find that doors open in your life with more possibilities and more opportunities just because you showed up to life fully present for what life has in store for you.